Let's kick things off with an update on the war in the Middle East. With the situation increasingly desperate, the world has been looking to the United States for a way forward. And yesterday, President Joe Biden had some good news, although he delivered it in the most Joe Biden way possible.
Can you give us a sense of when you think that ceasefire will start?
Well, I hope by the beginning of the weekend. The end of the weekend. At least my national security advisor tells me that we're close. We're close.
Not the most dignified way to deliver world-changing news. It does remind me of the photo of Obama's team watching that bin Laden raid while making balloon animals. Now, in Joe Biden's defense, he had the ice cream first. It's not like they asked him about Gaza and he said, hold on, if we're going to talk about war, I got to get a mint chip. No, he was in an ice cream store about to eat ice cream, and some reporter jumped in and said, what about Gaza? This is why I don't think we should have a free press. Personally, I don't think anyone should be asked about Israel-Palestine while they're eating ice cream. I thought that was like an unwritten rule. I'm holding a tiny cylinder topped with a giant misshapen dairy blob that immediately starts melting on all sides. I've got one tiny little napkin for some reason. You think Israel-Palestine is a crisis? I'm dealing with something here. I'll tell you what, if I was a politician, I would always have an ice cream with me, just to cram in my mouth in case I got asked about Israel-Palestine. It's not a good strategy for Mitch McConnell, though. That guy already has brain freeze. Kobe! Now, despite Biden's prediction, both Hamas and Israel say they're not actually close to a ceasefire. But I'm not surprised that Biden was so optimistic. When you're holding a freshly scooped ice cream cone, everything feels like it's going to be okay. That's why it's the official food of telling your kid you're getting a divorce. Ice cream. It is your fault, kiddo. Yeah. So, I don't blame Biden for talking about that stuff while he was eating ice cream. What I do blame him for is, why does he open his mouth so early in the process? I don't know about you, but I typically open my mouth when the food gets there. I don't need a lot of prep time. And he did one other thing that I found pretty disturbing.
No better combo.
That is...
We've got mint chip.
Dude, the sneeze guard is there for a reason. Republicans are right. Biden doesn't really respect borders. Impeach! Impeach! Although I will say, I am impressed by how flexible his shoulders are. Yeah. I didn't think he could do that. Based on what I've heard from Jon Stewart, you would think his arms would just fall right off. Well, let's move on to the other side of the aisle, because over the weekend, Republicans gathered for CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. It's like Woodstock for people who hate anybody who went to Woodstock. And if you think the whole weekend was just them saying that Trump really won the 2020 election, no. They were also singing it. Does anyone have any Molly? I want to overdose. If the lyrics are too subtle for you, I like how her dress gets the point across. What's she saying? Oh, I see. Trump won. But look, CPAC isn't just the best rock concert of all time. It's also an important way to find out what the current conservative priorities are. And based on the titles of this weekend's panel discussions, it's going to be a fun year.
CPAC 2024, where globalism goes to die. Ladies and gentlemen, does Congress even matter? Would Moses go to Harvard? What you talking about, Fannie Willis? Shooting from the hip, going full Hungarian, stopping Georgie Soros. The Bible uncanceled. God loves justice. God's children are not for sale. Babies are us, putting our heads in the gas stove.
Seems like you guys might be inhaling some fumes already.